minutes of stretch time. But at the very end of class or toward the end, you'll have a few minutes of time to do whatever you want to do, whatever else you need to stretch. So that might be that you roll in the tennis ball a little bit. So if you want to grab one of those, and then we'll have 15 minutes of meditation. And it ends up being a little bit shorter time of meditation just because we're going to end up taking a break from one thing and getting ourselves set up for another. So I do want you to start in a way that feels really good. We will start on our backs together eventually. So if you want to stay seated, you're welcome to do that. If you want to lay all the way back, know that we will end up there eventually together to start off our stretch stuff. So let's first acknowledge that we have all made it to our mat today. I know it's sometimes challenging to take time to do that, but now that you are here, really be here. This is your time. All right, so turn your attention to your breath and letting the breath flow down, up and out, and really finding any breath pattern that you would like here. The key here is to allow the breath to move all the way down. All right, then if you're on your back, just stay right there. If you're in a seated position, let's make our way onto our backs. So you're flat to your back. We'll do a long stretch. Once you arrive on your back, stretch your fingertips in one direction, your toes in the other direction. Find as much space through the body as you can. And then cradle your elbows above your head. From here, we're going to walk our arms and our feet. So it's really your upper body and your feet over toward the left edge of your mat. So think here of making yourself into a banana shape or a parenthesis shape. We're still trying to keep the right side of the body connected, but just finding a little lateral movement, a side bend for the spine. If you'd like a little for that right hip, you could cross your right ankle over your left. You could also stretch your arms out long and maybe use your left hand to guide your right wrist over a little bit further. So whatever it takes to feel this side body stretch. Now we'll do the same thing going in the other direction. So take your time. Again, the goal here is to stretch through the left side of the body. So what does that mean for you? What little change can you make in order to feel a little bit more along that left side of your body? Right, and then crawl your arms and your legs back to center, and one more time stretch the body as long as you can. Feel that space all the way up and down the spine. Keep your left leg long. Let's hug the right knee into the chest. Hug it in tight and take a deep breath. We'll guide the right knee out to the right side. So right hand stays to the right shin, left arm extends out as a little counterbalance, and then you'll bring the right knee out to the right side. Keep the left side of your body really connected with the mat. And then from here, we'll find a gentle twist. So we're just starting things off, but we're guiding the knee across the body, the left hand to the outside of the right knee. Try not to force anything too much here, but find what feels good. The knee comes back to center. Let the right leg go long and bring the left knee in, giving it a good squeeze in as you take a breath. And we'll start with the inner thigh stretch first. So the left hand stays to the left shin, the right arm extends out. Guide your left knee out to the left side. Right side of the body stays connected with your mat. Good, and then find this gentle twist, guiding the knee across the body with the right hand. And bring the knee back into center. Stay right there with that left knee in. Bring your right knee in as well. And then find anything here that feels really good. So maybe drawing circles on the ceiling with your knee, maybe reaching through, grabbing to the ankles, doing a little rock from side to side here. Good. And then we're going to make our way to a seated position. Take your time, or rock and roll up, whatever feels right. All right. From here, we're going to do a little bit of, so we're going to stay seated for a bit. So if you want to use your bolster to sit up a little bit more, feel free to do that. If you use your block. We'll start off with doing a little bit more for the spine. So placing your hands to your knees. We'll use our leverage of hands to knees to round out through the spine. So tucking your chin in, trying to find, again, space through the back body here. And then we'll reverse that. So using your hands as leverage, try to draw your chest forward, arching through the back. Good. So nice, y'all. We do one more where we're rounding out through the spine. And then one more where we find an arch through the spine. Good. And then bring the spine or sit up nice and tall here. We'll start here, continue here with half head circles. So we're dropping the ear to one shoulder and then rolling the head to the other shoulder. We are going to end up stopping on each side to do a little extra stretch, but if you find any spot where you'd like to pause along the way, feel free to do that. Our stretch that we will practice together, that we'll do together, is for the levator. So it's actually through the back, a little more through the back of the neck. So again, finding if there are any spots, just pause. Good, and then bring the head back up to center. All right, so you're going to drop your right ear to your right shoulder. You'll bring your left arm behind your back. So we're going to try and anchor this shoulder down, and then you'll tilt your chin toward your shoulder. Hopefully you feel that stretch kind of move back a little bit. Now you could add a little bit here by bringing your hand to the kind of the back corner of your head, and you're drawing your chin toward your shoulder. Right, be gentle here. Again, our goal is not the side of the neck as much as the back of the neck, the back side of the neck on that one side. Good. Slowly bring the head back up to center. Let's switch. We'll do the other side. So we'll first drop the ear to the shoulder and then tilt your chin toward the shoulder. Bring your right arm behind your back. Pause right here. If you'd like to add an assist to the stretch, the hand goes the back corner. of the head. And then you're using a little bit of leverage to draw the chin toward the shoulder, or really toward the armpit. Good. Bring the head back up to center. Let's switch the position of the legs. We're still going to do a little bit more here, but we'll just get a little bit of something different for the legs. All right, you'll bring one arm across the body. Doesn't matter which side you start with, but here's the deal. Once you have this arm across, you're using leverage right above that elbow to push into the arm, and then push with the arm into the forearm into the arm, whatever. You're pushing in both directions. How about that? We're getting a little bit of activation here with this stretch. Good, and then let's release that. We do the same thing other side, so the arm goes across. Right above that elbow is where the forearm of the opposite arm lands, and then you're pushing in each direction. Good, and then let's release that, shake it out. That was stretching through the back of the shoulder. Now you'll grab your strap, and we'll stretch a little through the front of the shoulder, maybe into those triceps a little bit. So grab that pretty good distance between your hands. We've done this plenty of times, y'all. We're going to bring the arms up and let them travel back to that spot where you feel the stretch. Now, as you do that, we're not flaring out through the rib cage. We want to make this all about the shoulder. So knit the ribs in. If you find that it's really intense and causing your rib cage to flare, you might need more space between your hands. All right, so we pause here. Good, and then let's release that. We are going to do that again. So if there's any adjustments you need to make in terms of distance between your hands, feel free to do that. On your inhale, sweep your arms up. We exhale back to that spot again. But this time as you hold, maybe you bend one elbow and just see how that feels on that opposite arm. If it feels all right, maybe you go to that other side. So feel free to just kind of play here and explore with making some changes. Perfect. And then let's release that. Release your strap. We're going to move to a child's pose. And we're going to hang out in child's pose just for a little bit, just to start to wake the hips up a little bit more. So if you'd like to use your block in any way, you know, a block behind your legs might feel good. The bolster behind your legs might feel good. A block to the forehead might feel good. So just find a supportive way to, if support is needed in child's pose. Knees can be underneath the belly, knees can be wide, big toes together. Movement, stillness, whatever feels good. We'll pause here a few more breaths. Good. Now, if we have one more thing that we'll do on each side for shoulders, you can approach this from a way, from a yoga perspective, doing a thread the needle. You could also do this from right here, child's pose. We're sliding the right arm underneath the left to find a little mini thread the needle. If you'd like to go bigger, come to all fours, and then you can slide that right arm underneath the left. So either from child's pose or all fours, but either way, you have that right arm under the left. Yes, beautiful. Good. Now, if the head is not touching down, maybe you put a block to the side of the head to support your head in this position. Good. Perfect. We slowly switch to the other side. This is the last thing we'll do for arms, and then we focus fully on opening up through the hips. Perfect. Come back to center. Come to a tabletop position. And from here, you'll step your right foot forward. Now, grabbing your block, you may want to use that to support your body weight. If you want to come up a little bit higher here, you can always stay low, but your right knee, your right ankle are aligned. That back knee is to the floor. It's at a diagonal from the hip. You can always lift that back knee up off the mat if you'd like. Our goal here in this stretch or in this pose or position is to stretch through the front of the left hip. So what do you need to do to feel that stretch? Now, my go-to is always to keep knee and ankle aligned, and I need to get out of that a little bit because really functionally, there are times when our knee is up over the toes. So if you'd like to do that here, you will feel a little more stretch through the Achilles. You might feel a little bit more through the shin here. So feel free to incorporate that, but just know it adds a little bit more pressure on your knee. So you decide if that's something you want to hold. All right, we hold one more full breath here. Good. Now from here, we'll begin to shift our weight back into a half splits. We are not going to stay here really long because we will go to our back and do more for the hips very shortly. Your right leg is straight out in front of you, straight out from that hip. The leg is long. If the knee need a little bit more bend in the knee, if that's feeling tight through the hip flexor or the hamstring, feel free to do that. So give your knee a good bend if needed. Bless you. Or straighten it out a little bit more. You can always stay center or bring both hands to the outside of this right leg. All right, we pause right here. Good. Now we slowly come back to center, shift your weight forward, and let's step this right or bring this right knee back to join the left. We'll do those same couple of things on the other side. So the left foot will come forward. And maybe here, you keep the knee and ankle aligned on that left leg. Maybe the knee travels out a little bit more. Our goal is primarily to stretch through the front of this right hip. We'll do just a teeny, we'll have an option to do a little teeny bit more of that on our backs. Good, and then slowly begin to shift your weight back. So you've got this half of a split from yoga. It's a hamstring stretch. We can make this a little bit more about outer thigh or IT band really as well by bringing the hands to the outside of the left leg. Good, and then come back to center. Let's shift our weight forward. We'll bring this left knee back to join the right knee. All right, the majority of us are going to lower down onto our stomachs. One of us is going to roll onto our other side. We're going to do a hamstring or a quad stretch, excuse me. So your right leg, you're going to bend that right knee and reach back for that right foot. Good, and then we'll switch to the other side. Perfect, let's release. You have a couple of options here. You could roll right to your back from here and just grab your strap, or you could push up, come to a seated position, and then come onto your back if you'd like. Either way, but you'll maybe want to have your block close to you, for sure your strap, and if you grabbed a tennis ball, grab that tennis ball and bring it with you as well. We'll start off together with the right leg, right foot in the strap, and you're connecting the ball mount of your foot to the strap. So you can kind of push up and out of that ball mount. We did a little bit for hamstrings a little bit ago. We're going to do teeny more here. Our focus primarily will be on inner and outer thigh here. But let's take just a few seconds to stretch a little more through the back of the leg. And then you'll grab that strap with just your right hand and guide your right leg out to the right side. So this is where your left arm goes out to the side for a little counterbalance. So think of exactly what we did at the very beginning of class. We're just making this bigger. Good. Slowly bring the right leg up, grab the strap with just your left hand. Your right arm goes out to the side. We'll guide the right leg across the body. And you choose how far. If you'd like to support this in any way, one thing is to put your block down and then you can put your leg on your block or your knee on the block if you don't want to use the strap. Perfect. Slowly bring the leg back up to center and we'll do the same thing other side. So when you're ready, you'll switch to that other foot. We'll start with a hamstring stretch first. So the back of the leg, we'll guide the left leg in, maybe a little bit closer. If again, you need a little, if it's pretty tight through the back of the leg, maybe give your knee a little extra bend. Or back the strap off just a little bit. So upper body, we're trying to keep our upper body relaxed. Now grab the strap with just your left hand. Your right arm goes out to the side. Begin to bring the left leg out to the left side. Slowly bring your leg up. Switch hands on the strap. Left arm goes out to the side, guiding your left leg over to the right. Slowly bring the left leg back up, release your strap. All right, y'all, you're going to have about 3 minutes of time to do whatever else you'd like to do to stretch. So you have a lot of tools available to you. You could use that strap again for a little bit more shoulder or hip. You could use your block underneath the lower part of the back to open up a little bit more through the front of the hips. You could use the tennis ball. Hitting key pressure points. And I will set a timer. You have about 2.5 minutes left. Good, about 1.5 more minutes. Last 30 seconds here. All right, y'all. Let's begin to make our way into a pose for meditation. So you're welcome to use the wall, to put your legs up the wall. You could use your bolster by you could create that structure that we usually do to open up through the front body, if you would like, placing that bolster to an upper end of a block and then a supported middle block. And then the lower end of the bolster is to the mat. That's you. So take time here to set yourself up. We will be in these poses for about 11 minutes. If at any time you need to make a change, absolutely fine. So the goal in our meditation is to be relaxed, not asleep, just finding that really comfortable, relaxed state. A state that that we're still aware of what's happening, and taking some time here to focus in on the breath and really trying to stay tuned into the breath can be helpful in staying aware and staying awake. So we are going to practice a couple of different breath options that you may want to continue as you hold here. We'll do one now, and then I'll break in just a little bit later, and we'll do a different breath pattern. So we'll start here with our box breath, where we're inhaling 4, pausing for 4, exhaling for 4 counts, and pausing again for 4. Again, it's just an option, so if it doesn't feel good, please find what feels best. We'll practice this 2 times together, and then you'll be on your own. Let's inhale, 2, 3, 4, pause, 2, 3, 4, exhale, 2, 3, 4, pause, 2, 3, 4, inhale, 2, 3, 4, pause, 2, 3, 4, exhale, 2, 3, 4, pause, 2, 3, 4. practice a different breath pattern together twice through. We'll inhale to a count of 4. We pause 2, exhaling 6, and pausing 2. We'll do that 2 times together, and then you'll be on your own. Take a deep breath. 2, 3, 4, pause, 2. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, pause, 2. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, pause, 2. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, pause, 2. Bring some easy movement back to your body. All right, we are going to make our way to a seated position. Please take your time. There is no rush. Once you're in that seated position, just stay and pause. Thank you all for joining me today. Have a wonderful rest of your day.